Have you ever thought to yourself, what would it be like to work with my family? What would be the challenges that we'd experience? Could we get through difficult moments?
What is it to gain the whole world but to lose your soul? What is it to gain all this success in business, but your family's torn apart or relationships are broken?
We want to grow, we want to have a bigger business, of course, we all want to have success. But even as a family, right? We need to have a bigger purpose. I think that's what really unites us, to be together, to be fighting for something.
I wrote, when I opened up my practice, everything that I wanted out of our practice and out of our business, and what I wanted it to look like now, 15, 20 years from now, and what it would look like fully matured. One of the things that I wrote, I wanted this business to be a reason for us to get closer as a family, not to drift further apart. Communication is so important, and we've had to have many heart-to-hearts. That's why it helps, again, what is the vision of this whole thing, right? Because our clients are not well served if you and I are not working well together.
It's being grateful as well that I get to do this. I want to do the very best that I can. I want to do the best for the business, for our clients. I want to do best by our family and not take any of this for granted. So I'm going to do my part to the best of my ability.
Have you ever thought to yourself, what would it be like to work with my family? What would it feel like? What would be the challenges that we'd experience? Could we get through difficult moments? What would our family interactions be like at the workplace and at home? Would it change things? Today on Art of Purpose, we're going to do something a little bit different. We have here in recording my father, Estuardo Ramirez. We also have Sharon Ramirez, who you all know. Yeah, and we're just going to be talking about, listen, on Art of Purpose, we talk with people about what is their purpose and how they arrived at their purpose. And part of our purpose, we believe very deeply, is to work as a family. And so we want to share with you how we arrived at working together, and then some of the lessons and experiences that we've had. And it's not that we know everything or that our way is the only right way to do it. No, absolutely not. It's just this is what we've learned, this is what we've experienced, and these are the challenges that we face and how we've been able to get through them and move forward and grow into something that we love and are in love with, and with each other as well. So just want to share that with you. It's going to be a fun episode, and I'm so happy to have my dad and Sharon here with us today.
Yeah.
Say hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Usually I'm behind the camera, but excited to jump into this conversation with you guys, my family, the people that I see every single day and I work with every single day. So, but thank you, Ken, for allowing us to be here and to be able to talk about this together as a family. Yeah,
it's going to be a fun conversation. I'm looking forward to it. And sort of as a background, backdrop for everybody, let's just tell our stories of how we arrived at working together. Okay. Yeah. And I'll start it off. I'll try to be short here because I think their stories here are very interesting in that regard. Yeah. I'll say this is, when I was a little kid, my mom put it in my head that I should be an attorney. Ended up pursuing that, and that's something that fell in line with the things that I like to do. And so I decided to go to law school. I'm in law school. That whole journey is a conversation for another episode. We've talked a bit about it in other episodes. And that was great. Got out of law school, started working at what was at that time one of the best plaintiff firms in the country, and I had a blast, learned so much. That's exactly where I wanted to be and experience all that work so that I could one day open up my own practice. That opportunity did come, and this was in December 2020. Again, it's a story for another episode, but I was at that firm and it unceremoniously shut down. Was made news, big headline news out of nowhere, and sadly it shut down. And so I had a choice, go work somewhere else or do what I wanted to do, which is open up my own practice. December 2020, one day to the next, opened up my own practice, and so was off to the races as a solo practitioner. And that happened to be the third year of my brother and sister when they were in law school. And I'll let Sharon sort of kind of go from there. But I started practicing, and so that was me. I knew I wanted to do that, and I've started my practice, and this is sort of where everybody else's story starts coming together. I will say, before Sharon goes and my dad go, that I think we've always wanted to work together as a family, right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
But we never knew it was going to be this because nobody else had any plans to be an attorney like my sister Sharon and Brandon ended up becoming. And nobody else thought that we'd be working together like now my dad and my mom work with us, right? So take it from there, Sharon.
Yeah, so I didn't grow up thinking I would be an attorney at all. It came, our parents have encouraged us to pursue higher education. So I was going to, so I got to UC Irvine. I was able to go there for my undergrad. And it was probably my second or third year. And you were an attorney at that point, Ken, and I was studying psychology. Like that was my major. I was going to be a psychologist.
Yeah.
I wanted to help families in that way. And then seeing you at the firm you were at, and you would come home and you would share all these stories about how he was helping these families. And maybe a lot of it was, families who lost parents or children or people who were seriously hurt, injured, people who looked like us as well. I think that was special to see, and how you like zealously fought for those people, all families that you represented. And I think that sparked something in me, and I saw you doing that, and I was like, wow, if Ken can do it, like I can do it too. Like that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when I shifted. Like I was majoring in psychology, then I decided to get a double major in criminology, law, and society at UC Sharon, just to kind of get a feel of what it's like, what I would be studying. And then figuring out as well how to apply to law school at that time. And you helped out a lot too. I was very grateful that I didn't have to figure it totally out on my own. And then going into law school, going with our other brother, Brandon, we ended up going at the same time. We all went to Loyola Law School. I wanted to go to Loyola because Kenny went to Loyola. And fortunately, they let me in. And
you got it.
And then it happened, right? 3L year, my last year of law school. Things were virtual at that point because of COVID. I graduated in 2021. But it was at the end, December 2020, I was clerking at a firm in LA, which is a great firm. And that firm really solidified or confirmed for me that I wanted to do plaintiff's work. So it did similar work that you were doing at your office where you practiced. And I knew I wanted to take that route as well. And so then, at the end of 2020, I stopped clerking at that firm and about to graduate. And I love how things kind of like fall together. And I thought the same thing, that we thought we would have a family business, but we didn't know what it would be or when it would happen. But then I see you in December 2020, you start your business the next, like you said, day and night. And that's when I'm ending my clerkship as well. And thanks to Dad, our parents, our dad always talks to us and gives us wisdom and advice. And
very good at that.
Yeah, he's very good at it. Even when maybe we don't always want it, but he'll give it to us. And then we see that we should have listened to him from the get-go. But he talked to me and he told me that, why don't you ask Kenny if why don't you go help? Ask Kenny if you can help. Don't ask for a job. Just ask if you can help. Don't expect to get paid or anything. That's
so I don't even know if I knew that or remember that or anything. That's cool.
That's how I remembered it right now. Yeah, he told me to help. And cool. As a clerk, so I hadn't graduated law school. I wasn't barred yet.
You're still in your third year.
Still in my third year, about to graduate in May 2021. And I always thought as well that, we'd have a family, or now that you were doing that, I was like, okay, maybe before Dad talked to me, maybe I'll go work at another firm, get enough experience so I can be good enough to come and work for you and maybe ask for a job and provide some value. But I think there's always there's a plan in our head, and then there's a better plan, I think, for us. And so that's how I came, long story long, but that's how I came to join you. And
it's funny, Sharon, as you say that, I remember as you started talking to me about that, and you're like, hey, like, can I? And I remember thinking at that moment, it's funny where we coming from two different spaces, right? Because like for me, I was like, well, I'd love to have you here, but I knew at that time, I was like, because I knew when I, started my own, when I started at a law school at the firm that I was practicing at, I was in trial 2 weeks after, passing the bar exam and doing like all these crazy things, like immediately after going. And my like fear, honestly, in that moment was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that for Sharon because like I'm starting off, right? And I want her to go someplace to get experience, not so that it's like, oh, that you bring something of value, but it's like, hey, Sharon, I can't give you the thing that I experienced, you know what I mean? And so it was like, for me, it was like, I want you to come here, but like, I won't be able to like give you the experience because like I'm starting at this like different place right now with this firm. So it's funny that it's like these two different things are going on.
Yeah. I guess we didn't really talk about it, but but yeah, no, I loved, like I said, it just kind of all worked together, and it's like clerked with you, and thankfully, passed the bar, and then you were gracious enough to let me continue working with you. So thank you.
Yeah.
And also thank you because I didn't have to go interview anywhere else. I got to just work with you.
Yeah.
So it made it really easy post bar, especially with COVID. But no, I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
It all worked out, and we're here today.
Yeah, it was a rigorous interview process.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, like it's one of those where like anybody in the legal world would be lucky to have you in their practice.
And
You're a pillar in any
same
place
about
that you'd
you.
go. And for me, I was so fortunate that you were there and you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
yeah.
Ken.
Yeah.
And I'll say, yeah, it's same for you. And you're a leader that, I want to follow. You're like visionary leader. I mean, you're the perfect, people always ask me, how's it like working with your brother? I mean, we could talk about this more, but like I always say, I can't complain. Like I'm very grateful. And so it's special, and I know it doesn't happen often. So it's very cool. I want to go to Dad now.
Yeah.
Dad, how did you come about getting involved in the business?
Just so everybody know, I have the blessed to be able to go to UCLA and to Loyola Law School to visit.
Clearly, our dad's a jokester.
I think one of our dreams with mommy was to have a family business since you guys were little. But I have a construction company, so I work in construction. And honestly, as much as I want you guys to, we have a family business, I don't want you guys to work in construction.
Mm-hmm.
So I always debating how we're going to have a family business, right? Because I really don't want you guys to work in construction.
Right.
So when you guys start to grow and start to go in your different paths, I couldn't see that happening, right? How it's gonna happen, I don't know. Then one day, of course, before you asked me to come and help, I think God gave me the bless to run a business, to lift it from the ground.
Yeah.
And
The construction company that you had.
the construction company. And I think it was a great experience, to build teams, to have people working. It's amazing, right? Because probably I never even dreamed to have that.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, I'm just going to interrupt quickly and say that my dad did construction, built custom homes in many areas, Beverly Hills, Calabasas area. You can go there and you'll see the homes that he built. And I can go on for days talking about just how amazing he is and how skilled he is at that, and as a businessman, because you were leading that as well. From a young kid, who came into the States at 22 years old,
22,
with nothing, and was able to, along with mom, be able to build that. So impressive. But so that's sort of your background, an entirely different world that you also didn't want us to experience.
No.
Yeah.
As much as I love construction, it is it is a hard work, So I couldn't see really how you guys fit into that. And if you notice, I never encourage you guys to do construction. Even though I take you to the construction.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Some more than others.
I definitely spent a lot of summers and breaks doing construction, but it was never with. But you were very clear. That was just like, I think you first spending time together. It was working, teaching me discipline, work, and all, work ethic and all those things. But you also took me there just as much to show me for me to experience that and be like, yo, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. Like framing in the middle of summer sucks. I don't want to do that. But it was never with the intention of like, Kenny, I want you to come here and like help me build this up. You never asked me to do that. And you never wanted that for us. It was like, hey, continue on school and your education. But this was sort of like a teaching tool or element.
Yeah. Like I said, as much as I love construction, because I do, I am very thankful to God, to let me practice, to let me learn that skill and to be able to make a living from that. And I think good living, right? I mean, but no, I didn't want that for you guys. And like you said, I probably use it not to encourage you guys to come and work with me. Actually, the opposite.
Yeah.
To disencourage you.
Yeah.
And
dissuade us.
Try to push you to study and to do something better, right? And I remember now that we're talking, the point where I think you came out of UCLA and with your major, right?
Political science.
And and you asked
Philosophy.
me because it was a really hard time at that point, that you're going to help me. And that was it. You're going to come and work. And I told you, don't do that, just keep going. Go. I think you have already, you're already getting to Loyola, right?
Yeah, I took a year off, but then I got into Loyola as I was, during
So I
that
told
year
you
off.
go study, and I think later on when you become an attorney, you're going to be able to help. Right now, probably it's not going to be much help.
Family was going through a difficult financial situation.
But it happened. I mean, I never thought that I'm going to be able to stop working in construction, because at this point I stopped completely. And I am very, like Sharon said, I am very thankful. Never see myself working probably in an office, a beautiful office with air conditioning.
Yeah.
I never thought to myself, I mean, that I'm going to be able to do that. How, right? I mean, but thanks to you that you asked me at some point if I can come and help with the finances or, part of the business. And I remember at the beginning I thought, I have a background in accounting, but in my country, right? So that's what I studied when I was young. But it's like a lot of years ago.
I
don't know say how many.
Yeah.
But at the time I thought, I'm going to come to help you maybe 6 months, right?
Right.
Maybe a year, to try
I think even initially it was only for like 2-3 months. We were just short. I remember you talking to me about us talking. It's just like, because I mean, you're still in a different world, construction, and trying to making that happen. And for us, it was like, hey, could you spare a couple of months, right, and like come help us out, because we needed it, and we can get into that. But like we needed the help in that as we kept getting busier.
Yeah, and again, my experience was, I gonna go. You guys are my kids, I wanna do it, right? And I remember that I came to the office and I started to work, try to figure it out, the numbers and the whole thing. And
different industry.
Even though it's nice, even though it's air conditioned and I can come clean every single day. It was tough in the sense that I was so used to be at that point probably checking jobs. I probably work half day,
You're right.
And then I think it was a big change for me. But I start to get used to, and like anything else, I think you learn and you start to appreciate really the opportunity. And I, like Sharon said, I think something that is very special. I think we all see the kind of leader you are, Kenny, and I think you are a great leader, and you are somebody that cares for people. And even though I am your father, and you care for me, and I can feel that. And that make me, one, you are my son, but two, you care for me. So I that make me wanna help you. Do what else can I do, right? But at this point, I think I love the change.
Yeah. You love this now.
I think it's improvement.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Thank you. You have something?
No, I was just saying that I thought that was I loved. I never expected that to happen either.
Yeah.
Never. And I think, Dad, you've been working in construction for so many years, and I think it's like that's all you knew. And to make the shift, I think it was end of 2023, I think. When
End
Dad
of 23.
joined. And I think it's just been something beautiful to be able to work together as a family. And I personally said I also wanted. I've always thought about, like, Dad, I don't want him to do construction the rest of his life either.
That's a great point.
But I just didn't know, like, that's how he makes income. How else is gonna happen? But so I think it all worked out. Or God's planning and timing came in at a perfect time, kind of forming what we call the core team here. So I loved how it's all worked out so far, right?
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah, and because I think to add to Sharon's point,
Great point.
it's that I think I get to a point that I already was thinking, how long more can I work in construction?
Because of the physicality of it, yeah.
So the change come in the perfect time, and I think is again, the right time, the right moment, because I was thinking about that, but I didn't know how to change or to go in a different road, right? So this honestly was perfect for me, and again, I am so happy, so blessed to be here. And I remember in the beginning it was a little harder to adjust, but I think we all can adjust to good things.
And that what we see here as well is like just this amazing example of my dad and his energy and his positivity, right? And that no matter what's happening, he is going to see the good in it.
That's true.
And and I think, speaking of that, I remember you coming in, Dad, and it wasn't, we were getting busier, but it was also a time where, from a business perspective, and we'll talk about some of these things, but it was getting a little bit tough for us as well. It's like we weren't necessarily doing everything correctly that we needed to from a business side and sort of perspective. And there's the business practice of law, and then there's the business of law, right? And like, I don't think we were really doing that part the right way. We weren't, quite frankly.
They don't teach you that in law school.
They don't teach you that in law school, right? Exactly. It's like you think you have some few good cases, and you're like, cool, like, money comes in, and like, then, then something else will pop up, And we had an understanding that there was more than that, but we also didn't know necessarily what else. And as much as we read or listened to podcasts and we did all that stuff, because we did, right? But it was like, but how do we practically gain some traction? And I think, so I would also say that even though I am the eternal optimist, I feel like I have such like positive mindset and belief personally. I think that wasn't the greatest time for me either, right? As I sort of like try to keep that sort of attitude, but it's like, but I can see things are not going that great, right? And with her dad coming in and just going like, hey, I'm going to infuse this energy in here as well, right? It was something that you talk about, Dad, how it was something that you needed at that time, but it was something that we all needed, right? And we all complemented each other in that regard. And there's a particular skill that the three of us have here that is very unique and specific, and that was necessary at that time, and continues to be integral here in our practice, in our business. And so, I think it was amazing. And speaking of that, so now we're all working together. Speak about a few of the. It might be like values or, call them highlights or things that we've experienced that we just kind of wanted to share with everybody in working together. Let's start with the first one. We'll have three. See if we can get through this. One is unity, family unity. And this idea that, and I'll start this off by saying, I remember I wrote when I opened up my practice, I have a little book that I still have, a little booklet. Sharon knows which one it is because then she typed it all up. Is that everything that I wanted out of our practice and out of our business and what I wanted it to look like now, 15, 20 years from now, and what it would look like fully matured. It's long. I wrote a lot. And one of the things that I wrote, which I recently, in rereading that, came across, is just that I wanted this business to be a reason for us to get closer as a family, not to drift further apart, which hit home as I read that recently even more, right? Just as a reminder. But maybe Sharon, can you start talking to us a little bit about like what unity means for you here in our practice, our business?
I think it started from long ago. I mean, we always take it back to what our parents taught us, I feel, because it's true. I mean, ever since we were little kids, mom and dad always stressed unity, always sticking together, supporting one another, helping each other. And so much that I know even growing up, people thought it was weird that we were a close family, that we actually liked each other. And, because, growing up, you see, brothers hitting their little sisters or, and doing all these things, messing around. But mom and dad were always like, hey, no, you respect each other, you work together, you help each other out. And we would spend time with one another. And honestly, I think part of why we spent a lot of time is, I think, our families are back home in Guatemala too. That's where my parents come from. And so it was really just us here. Right. And so I think that was, part of a reason why we were so close, but then also, like I said, stressing that since we were little kids. And then now we're adults and we're bringing it into the business. I like what you said, what you wrote in your notebook, and it makes me think of, you hear that quote, what is it to gain the whole world but to lose your soul? What is it to gain all this success in business and, whatever success looks like, but your family's torn apart or relationships are broken? And I think, we can see examples in culture, businesses. You hear all these stories of how families have, maybe their businesses are successful and their families, they don't talk to each other anymore or, which is sad. And I always look at that and I'm like, man, I wouldn't want that for us. What's the point, of doing all this if it's going to break us apart? And it's not to say that we have always been, even in the business, the most united.
Let me tell you.
I'm just kidding. We never have any problems. Everything's good. We always agree. No, it's just like anything. There's been disagreements. There's been moments that were a little tense, maybe not totally speaking or, unless we have to. But then I think, thankfully, we always find a way back. We always are able to communicate. I think that's something at the core, unity that helps us, bring us back together, and that we're in this together as a family, working together to help people and serve people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, I think when we talk about unity, we think we're all gonna be hanging from the hands together, and it's not necessarily like that. I think the way I see it, like Sharon pointed out, since you guys were little, we try. That's again, it's one of our dreams that we can be a family that is united, right? We have seen our families back in my country, and different families too, fighting over properties, fighting over,
inheritance.
So I think we all want to have success, but if you do it alone, it could be very lonely. So I think part of it is that when we come over here too, we are alone, and it's not so fun to be alone. It's better when we have more people around us and people that care really. And that's the whole idea that we want you guys to experience that, right? To love each other, to trust each other, and in regard to the business, I think, like Sharon said, it's not that we're gonna be, it's not happy, or it's not. I think always gonna be something. I think always gonna be something, and one of the things that we talk over here, and I usually thinking about a team, right? One team. I think we all play sports, right? Team sports, and we always fight together for something, right? I will listen to a football player, from Argentina, and his name is Bautista, and he was saying, he was good. It was a big ego, but it was a goal. We want to win a championship, so then we have to play together, right? I mean, even though he's big, he's good, and but alone he can win. So I think when we have a bigger purpose, right? And that in the business can look like, we want to grow, we want to have a bigger business, we want to, of course, we all want to have success. But even as a family, right? We need to have a bigger purpose. It's not, I think that's what really unites us to be together, to be fighting for something. Again, if we think about a team, in a team, a lot of times there's people that we don't even like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's people that we chill.
You may not get along with them. Say that.
Yeah. I mean, I really like this guy, But we play together.
Right.
Right? We have to, because we have a purpose. We have a bigger purpose, right? In this business, we always talk about we believe this firm, is this business is from God, right? So we have that purpose. We have to fight for that purpose, right? And I think that keep us try to work together, right?
Yeah. I think I like what you're saying, and what Sharon was talking about. It's funny, we laugh, but it's true, right? It's like, it doesn't mean that we're, happy-go-lucky. You guys said, holding hands singing Kumbaya all the time. It's like, we've also had moments of tension. We've had moments where maybe we're not, like Sharon said, speaking unless we have to, right? Which is multiple times throughout the day, but otherwise maybe not necessarily just, popping in. Yeah. But that's not a great feeling, right? But what I would say is this, is that many times people confuse maybe quiet or seeming peace for, or rather, I'd say sometimes people confuse tension for being bad, right? Or that because nobody's fighting, that necessarily means peace, or that we're moving forward. I think what we've learned is, because that also means, like, sometimes if there's tension, maybe we try to ignore it instead of addressing it, right? Because we're like, if we address the tension, or if we actually talk about it, that means there's a problem, right? If I don't, then it's fine. Like, it doesn't, I can pretend like it doesn't exist. And I think I like the sports analogy, because you watch any great movie or any movie about a sports team, like, there's conflict the entire time, and they get to the championship and win, right? Because they were able to set aside or become united despite the tension, despite the conflict. But those things are helpful, right? We need differing opinions. Like, I want you guys to have different opinions about a thing than me. When we agree, great. But if you guys have something else, it's because there's a different perspective, right? And something I'm not considering because I can't see everything, right? And so I think that's important to have. And yet, what helps is having that vision and goal in mind, right? If it's a team, we're looking to win the championship, so we can set aside or work together despite these differences to reach our goal. And I think for us, that's making clear that making our vision clear, making our purpose clear, our goal clear helps us continue to move forward. And yet, I'll say this is that we can go on two different extremes, right? Because we can go, okay, this is just a business and we're going to treat it like that. And we're just going to move forward like that. Let's set aside emotions and, let's just go move forward. That's one way to do it, right? The other way to do it would be like, okay, let's like really care about how everybody feels, which is not a bad thing, right? But like cater to those feelings no matter what, right? And I think there's this happy medium. Sharon, sometimes I've heard you call it like this happy tension, right? What's the phrase?
Hold it in tension.
That you hold it in tension, because I don't want to certainly be, this, you guys use the word leader, right? Leader that like only pushes for metrics to be achieved and KPIs to be met without caring about how you're feeling, right? Because I do care about that. I have worked at a firm, been an associate in a place where I cared about that, right? And different people react differently to it. Some people are okay in it, some people aren't, right? And I don't want you guys to feel bad, right? At the same time, there are times where it's like, hey, like, okay, I might not feel the greatest, but like I still have to perform. I still have to do what I have to do, right? And that doesn't mean that I get to pout or I get to, no, like we have to do what we have to do, right? Mm-hmm. But I care about how people feel. Yeah. So it's funny because I've had this conversation with Sharon. It's like, the better thing to do would be pick one side and go that way. But like, I don't want to do that, right? Like I care, but at the same time, there does come a moment where, like we do have to perform and we have to meet certain things, great, but like I also care about how we feel, right? And I want to have a firm and a business where, people's, where we care about people, right? Beyond just what we're performing and doing here, but how do people feel, and do they feel great? Do they feel like they can come in here and work and perform optimally, right? Mm-hmm. And that we care about their home as well, their family, that they're doing fine, that they're doing great, that this is a family, because that's what we are. And I want people to come and feel that, I am now a part of this family. I'm part of the Ramirez Law family, right? Ramirez family, like we're all together. And it starts here with us, literally family, but that it starts with us, right?
Beautiful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A united in purpose, I think Dad put it perfectly.
If I can add something, I think we're in the same point that usually we think to be united is to be okay with everything and to just keep walking. It doesn't work because we are imperfect beings. Mm-hmm. So we all gonna have things to work in our lives, right? Mm-hmm. And what I learned, especially now that I came over here to work with you guys, I think I am very skilled in construction, but now I have to relearn so many things. Mm-hmm. And if I come with the attitude that I know, then it's not gonna work. Mm-hmm. I have to come and be a team player, and I was a big boss over there. Mm-hmm. Now over here I am another worker, right? Mm. And
not just another.
Talking about the team, and I think again to build trust, it has to be confrontation. But again, it's when we have to balance things, right? Because a lot of people think confrontation is to tell people the truth in their face and, whatever. Right. Mm-hmm. We have to address the things because, if we're talking about a team and how they, like you said, right, eventually it's a conflict, eventually they get to win. It's because they build trust, right? Mm-hmm. If let's think about soccer. Yeah, I don't trust that guy. I'm going to pass the ball. So, and that's what happened really in teams or in families, right? Mm-hmm. In any where people is together, we have to build trust. But if we don't address or
disagreements,
faults,
issues,
then we don't build that trust. Mm-hmm. And I think, that's a very important part that, but it comes through the friction of saying the truth. It's something is not working, it's not working. We have to change. If you are not performing, well, you're going to have to perform, I mean.
And I like what you're saying and that'll take us into our second point here, but that I think if I can trust that you have my best in mind, then whatever you tell me, I can accept, right? Even if that is confrontational in terms of like, it addresses a fault of mine or something that I need to do better. But if I trust that you are looking out for me and you actually care about me and in our business, then it's easier to accept, right? And so let's move on to that second point that we have here is just second value is the we over me. And that is, setting aside pride, dealing with ego that we all have as human beings, because we all have egos. And so maybe Sharon, do you want to start us off with a little bit of that discussion of that?
What that means.
Yeah, for us. Yeah. For you.
I think you said it well. Pride, putting aside pride and ego. It's so easy. Sometimes it feels, or like, how do I have to bring it with me? So we're family. So like where we see each other outside of work and then I see you in work. How do I make sure, like, yes, we're still brother and sister when we're here at the office, but and you love me and you take care of me and you look out for me, but how do I still, make sure it's about the business. Like it is about the business, about the people we serve. It's about working together and not getting, I think, focusing on, I want this, I want that. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'd rather focus on this. Like, no, when it comes to family business, I mean, we, at this point, even right now, we're young business too, right? 5 years, I think, 5 years in. At this point, there are certain things I have to do.
Yeah.
That maybe I'm not the biggest fan of doing.
Yeah.
But the reason I do them is because, again, there's a purpose. There's a bigger purpose in all of this. We want to continue to grow our business, right? Bring people in the future. So to put aside like what I want, like my wants and my needs, or put aside my pride, put aside my ego, and do what I have to do, to help advance the business forward the way I, in what's in my capacity, what I can do, or it requires, learning things that maybe, I've had to learn over the past 2 years. They said we went to law school, so we didn't learn how to run a business. Yeah. But then when you get into running a family business, it's just like other businesses. There's marketing, there's finances, there's operations, there's the actual legal work, there's customer, customer satisfaction, client satisfaction, there's a bunch of these things that, that we've come to realize like, oh, that's important. So it's like, okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I jump into that's maybe not law related, but it's still important to help advance the business forward.
Yeah.
So I think that's we over me doing things. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's not my skill set. Maybe it's not something I want to do, but I have to do it, and I do it.
Yeah, and I love that, Sharon. And that's also sort of family businesses a lot of times, right? Especially when you're starting off, is like, you're wearing many hats, right? Today you might be wearing these types of hats. Tomorrow doing something. Today you're working on, discovery. Tomorrow depositions. Then you're also doing some marketing, social media, and recording. And then you're looking at the books. And then we're looking at projections for this upcoming quarter. And we're doing all these different things. All of us have a hand in it, right? And so checking your ego at the door, that's what you were talking about, and I love that. And
I will say, as I've jumped into more of the non-legal stuff, I actually have come to enjoy many things. So, and that's why, again, grateful that we get to do this, because I know if I was at another law firm just working as an associate, I would not have that kind of exposure to the business side of things, or maybe it would be a little more difficult for me to get there, but because it's a family business, you get exposed to a lot of this, and I've come to embrace and enjoy enjoy what I get to do.
And Sharon, maybe can you say just a little bit about, so I mentioned earlier we were having a little bit of a tough time, and sort of like, how do we get this vision going, right? How do we get moving toward it? Maybe it wasn't going that great, right? And we had cases, cool, good ones, but like we weren't going to see money for a few years because those are going to be in litigation, and that takes years to resolve. And so what was one of the big things that we did? Obviously the book, right? But some of the stuff that we started putting into action, that then we started seeing how organizing and ordering things. So maybe give us some examples of that. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Marketing
just the business traction and how we sort of applying those meetings and those things.
Oh, yeah. That's been a big thing for us, is applying. It's this book, Traction.
Gino Wickman.
Gino Wickman. And we actually had a couple episodes earlier this year. It was Pratik Shah, attorney and business owner, founder of Esquire Tech, who mentioned this book, that how he implemented it into his business at Esquire Tech. And immediately, I remember when he mentioned it, I went out to Amazon, I got the book, and I think I encouraged us, like, we had to start doing this. And Kenny, obviously Kenny has to agree to it as well, and you did. You're like, let's figure it out. So we've read the book, and he said we've been implementing things over time. It's having meetings. It's being accountable, holding each other accountable. I think that's again, that goes to we over me as well. Sometimes having accountability is hard,
and it's weekly, weekly meetings.
Weekly meetings where we're held accountable. Like, did you do this or did you not do this? Yeah. And it could be something related to the books, something related to the marketing, something related to the operation side of things, and it's. I think, again, it's check your ego at the door. There's business that needs to be attended to. Are we getting these things done or not? But if not, like, maybe we're struggling, that's where we have those conversations too. Like, what are some ideas to help you get that done, or how can we help?
I love that, Sharon, and that's where it changes, right? Because, like, let's say when we started those meetings, they weren't necessarily fun, right? Because now it's like, all right, you're doing this. Now all of a sudden it feels like you have this accountability partner or whatever. You're like, what? Like mom, dad, like all over again. You're like, wait, and it doesn't feel great for everyone, especially if like then you haven't done what you needed to do the previous week, right? And so you have to show up and be like, I didn't do that, like. You almost feel like a kid again, right? Like in the moment, right? But I think that's where sort of mine shifted as well, because then it's like checking your ego at the door and going like, okay, this is a task that's assigned to me. Why? Because we have a business that we're running, we're serving clients, and we need to continue to serve them in the best way possible and also grow our business and optimize our business, right? So it's not about me necessarily. Yes, I'm the best person tasked for that. You're the best person tasked for that. But did you meet it? Did you not? Cool. Like, and if you're not, I love what you said, Sharon, what can we do? What are the things that we can do to help achieve that, right? So now we're checking our ego and just looking at this objectively, right? And we're doing quarterly reviews now, right? Which we're having fun now, right? Especially as things have, improved as well. So it makes those meetings better. And it's funny because like we were already making strides prior to that, but then reading Traction helped sort of organize all those thoughts and put it into like this very purposeful and intentional sort of map. And it's a great example of checking our egos at the door, because now we do have to do that. And now the meetings have become fun, actually, because like now they're a way for us to, and for everybody to stay informed about what's going on in our practice, right? Like what's going on the marketing side, what's going on the litigation side, how are the finances, what are the projections for next quarter, next couple quarters, what decisions can we make today because we have those projections, right? What exciting thing is around the corner. Everybody knows, what cases are coming into, whether it's mediation, trial, have been resolved, which ones have just come in. And so now it's like a meeting that we look forward to, and it's like, cool, like we all can get informed on that. But it started from, maybe it wasn't the greatest feeling and it felt a little strange, but we know that this is the best thing, and we check our ego at the door and let's keep moving forward.
Well,
yeah.
I think if I can add something, is which I think is the same thing, is humility. Because in my case, if we think about it, in home, I am the head of the house, right? And it's a different dynamic, right? But when we come to the office, I work for you. which is a different dynamic. And I have to adjust and I have to work as a part of the team, right? I am not the head of the team over here. And I think it's important to understand the dynamics, right? Because if we don't understand, then, we start to crossing, right? No, I want to be the head over here too, right? Well, it's not, And I think, again, the order of things. And I think when we talk about humility is personal, but we see it as a business too, right? As a team, because we are willing to learn, we are willing to change, we are willing to accept that we are not doing the right thing, and then we have to move to another thing, right? To something else. So I think from that aspect, humility, I think, is a very important part, not only personal, but as a business.
Yeah, no, I love that, Dad. And I think sort of we move ahead and almost getting close to closing this up here, is that communication is so important. And we've had to have many heart-to-hearts, we have. Sharon and I have had many heart-to-hearts where it's like, hey, this interaction, right? Maybe I didn't approach it the right way. Maybe you didn't approach it the right way. This is how I felt. How did you feel? And what can we do to improve that the next time around, right? Because our clients, that's why it helps. Again, what is the vision of this whole thing, right? Because our clients are not well served if you and I are not working well together, if we're not being communicated, right? If we're not on the same page. And so for their sake, as much as for our sake as well, because I want to have a great relationship with my little sister, right? And who is also an attorney at this office, right? And so communication is so important. And those conversations have happened right here in this office. They've happened, during a brunch on a Saturday, like, let's just go out and talk, like what happened this week or what's been going on the last couple of weeks. Like, hey, this doesn't feel good. Like, sit down and let's talk about it. And I think that goes back to what we discussed. It's like, it's not that it's like all peaches and roses all the time, but this is what I've chosen. This is what I want. I want to work with my family. I can go work anywhere else and you're going to find problems in any other place that you go to, even if it's not your family, where there are humans congregated, there are going to be issues. Just check your office dynamics. Everybody's just like, think about your work and office, like people are fighting. That's all the stuff that's going on. That's going to happen. But I choose to work here and I want to work with my family, but that also means I'm intentional and that we're intentional about those things. And we often talk about that. And I think communication is so important to that.
No, and I think it starts, or you have been so good at that, Kenny, at communication. I know you've talked from the beginning of this, like you said, unity, and we need to talk. If things come up, like you just said, like we need to have a conversation. We can't let it linger, because if things, I'm sure we've all done it before, where we let things linger, and that's where bitterness and that's where resentment comes up, and we're not solving anything or moving forward with that. But you've definitely been very good. And when there's an issue or problem, and that's something like I continue to learn, when there's an issue or a problem that you sense or you feel, you try to address it as soon as possible so we can like nip it in the bud. Talking, and it's helped me a lot. I know I've had to learn as well, similar, not so much to Dad, but like you've been my big brother, you're my big brother still, even as the business owner. But it's like when I come into the office, there's a different posture I need to take. There's a different way I need to, you're the boss, and I'm an associate basically, or wear different hats, but
more than that.
But you are, you're the boss, and there's a different dynamic to that as well. And I know that's something that I've learned, how to handle that dynamic. Certain things I can't say, when we're here at the office. But there's a line as well, and
that's interesting.
But you've been really good at communication and addressing things when things need to be addressed in a loving, kind way, the way the brother that you are.
Thank you, honey. It's so interesting because it's also, I think this has been fun about this in so many ways. Like I just have loved working together in this office, this firm, and the clients that we get to help first and foremost, and then just working together, as well. And the stuff that we've gotten to experience because and through like the work that we've done through this office, right? different family vacations, even all these different things that we're able to like enjoy together, right? But it's also, I don't know if you guys agree, it's also stretched me in a good way. Like I've had to like sit down, Sharon, we were talking about like these conversations, these heart to hearts that we've had to have, right? It's not because like things were going perfect, right? It's because we had to sit down and be like, hey, like, what's going on, right?
Likely my fault.
Yeah.
No. I always say most of it was probably me, and I've had to learn a lot. And it's been very kind in teaching me.
It's stretched me personally, because I go like, wow, man, like you think you have an understanding of what leadership looks like. And I was like, damn, there's still so much more to learn. And this has also humbled me, and I think has helped me trying to get my heart in that right posture. It's like, I have so much to learn. In every, whether it's practice, whether it's business, whether it's as a leader as well. Like I don't want to be this, overarching sort of dictatorial person. No, like I want everybody here to grow to their fullest of their capacity and have an amazing time, right? Doing it. But that also means like, you can't just expect all of us to get there without like helping people or leading the way there or doing that, right? So like it stretched me as well, right? I love the family dynamics you were talking about, Sharon, because it's like we have and you mentioned it as well, Dad, family dynamics at home. And then because we're so comfortable with each other, sometimes those lines can get crossed, right? And that happens a lot with families, right? Yeah. Family businesses, those lines get crossed all the time. And it's like, okay, how do we maneuver this in the best way possible while still taking advantage, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but taking advantage really of the fact that we are a family. We actually do trust each other. We love each other 100%, right? And like that's actually a superpower in business, right? To have people that you can trust and not even like, have any doubt about them, right? And so this has been fun. It's been great. And the last thing I'll say, maybe, and with this we'll make this a little bit of a shorter point or value here, is stewardship. The word stewardship, and what does that mean for us? You mentioned it earlier, Dad, is that me personally, I do feel that this is a business that we have that God has given to us, right? And so what that means for us in the sort of smaller picture, but big picture at the same time, is that I don't approach this firm, this business, as something that like I can, I can do whatever I want with it, like this is mine, because it's not mine. I have a responsibility to steward this in the best way possible. And I think that helps my approach toward it as well. And we're always looking to improve and get better, because it's not really for me. It's because I'm stewarding it, right? And can you guys add anything to that? Or how do you guys see that? Maybe Sharon?
Yeah, I'll briefly share. I think, when you're stewarding a business, or we're given this opportunity to do so, I'm not owed it. I did nothing to deserve it. I feel. I think that's where, you embrace, humility. Things can be taken away in an instant. Yeah. That can happen. But, so I'm not owed this business. I'm not owed this position that I can have. But like I said, there is a responsibility while we are here. There is a responsibility that we have to do. I love this word, I use it a lot, is pursue, and we use it a lot, is pursue excellence. Pursue excellence. Stewarding is, putting your 110% in what you're doing, doing the very best that you can. Like I said, does that happen every single day? No, some days are better than others. Yeah. But it's the pursuit of it. And I think that's for me, that's what it is. And every single day, I'm grateful to be here. Also, a heart of gratitude, I think, is also, because I know as we come to realize, even in our world, not everyone, people have shared with us, maybe this is something they want to do but can't, or they've tried and it didn't work out. But it's being grateful as well that I get to do this. Yeah. And I want to do it because I'm so grateful for it. I want to do the very best that I can. I want to do the best for the business, for our clients. I want to do best by our family, and not take any of this for granted. So I'm going to do my part to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I think you guys said it all. But if I can add something, is that this business is from God. We have to be stewards of this business. But at the same time, I think is the way God used the business to work with us too, right? Because somebody says, right, when you are successful, it's not the success, it's the person that you become to have a success, right? So I think the business teaches so many things, and God teaches so many things through this business, like to work together, like things that we are talking. It just come to my mind that when I came out at the beginning, I was taking a lot of decisions, right? I was saying, let's do this, let's do that. Then I realized, oh, wait a minute, you know, this Kenny is the leader over here, right? I have to start, you know, this is not my place, right? And again, we talk about unity, humility, or so many good things that really we need to learn as a persons, right? And I think God used this business to work with each one of us, right? And I think it's marvelous because, like we said, we are not perfect. We have to continue growing. I think that's one of the problems, right? We think that we already are all we can be.
Yeah, we're not.
And we are not.
Yeah. As it turns out.
Much to
Far
learn.
from it.
Much to learn.
And that's what's scary sometimes, right? Is that we get confronted with that reality. But I think we've learned to embrace it and actually be happy for it, not see it as a bad thing, but it's like, cool. I still have a lot more to improve on and to do. And like, that's exciting, I think. So do you have any closing thoughts, Sharon?
Closing thoughts?
Yeah.
I think a little what you said in the beginning. I mean, we've had this conversation. It's been cool to think on stories, to share. Hopefully this has been of value to people. So whether you work with family, whether you don't, whether you maybe you're thinking about it, or maybe you work with, you don't work with family. I mean, I think these same values, you know, that we've talked about, you know, apply no matter where you're at, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's, you know, organizations, things you're a part of in your life. I think these, and like I said, we're not the perfect models for any of these. We are a work in progress. We are still working. How can we get better? And I think that's a mindset that all of us have, I think is important, is that we want to get better. How can we get better as professionals? How can we get better as a family? How can we get better business owners? And it's been a journey so far. I said it's only been 5 years, but I feel like every single one of us have grown. I certainly can speak for myself. Have grown a lot. Hopefully, getting better day by day, and I'm excited for what the future holds. And so hopefully, a little peek into this has been a little peek into how things have been going, how we're running things, and what we're continuing to learn as we continue to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Dad. Thank you guys for your time in this episode.
Been fun.
Yeah, in this episode and just in life. I appreciate you guys so much, and fully aware that, you know, really you guys could be doing anything else and being anywhere else and helping in any other business exponentially, but you guys have decided to join this and join me. So I appreciate you guys and love you guys, and so excited that we get to do life together.
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege, Kenny.
And so, guys, as everyone, as we close this off, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Art of Purpose. It was a little bit different. We'll still continue to have our guests. We just kind of wanted to do something a little bit different this time around. If you enjoyed this episode, if you thought, hey, you know what, actually, I want to hear more, or I want to hear more stories, more examples of what sort of you guys have gone through, anything else you guys have learned, let us know, comment, DM us, message us, and we'd be more than happy to hear your feedback, see if we do this again, okay? Until next time, this has been Art of Purpose. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.